Hi guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 2. Now this speaker follows on from the huge success of the original Wonderboom. This was released about 2 years ago, and now Ultimate Ears has made a few changes to the original design and therefore has released a brand new product. Now the product can be found for £89 in the UK, whilst the older variant, which was also released at £89 2 years ago, can be now found for only £47, which is a pretty good deal. Then you've got the Ultimate Ears Boom 3, which I've got in front of me over here as well, and this can be found for around £95 now. So there's quite a few competition within the company itself. There's even the Ultimate Ears Blast, which has Amazon Alexa, and then you've got a variety of different speakers out there that have IPX7 or IP67 certification. I'll link them down in the description below in case you're interested in seeing the alternatives that you can find in the market today. So what have Ultimate Ears done? What have they actually changed between the two models? Now first of all, let's talk about aesthetics, design-wise. At the top of the speaker, you might be able to see if my camera picks it up, there's slight differences. The button, there's an actual button over here, even though the UE logo also did double up as a button, but didn't quite look as obvious, and now it's a little bit more obvious. Other than that, the design at the top is pretty similar in terms of the rubberized plate at the top. However, the little hooks have changed. The Ultimate Ears one looks a little bit, well, the new Ultimate Ears design looks a little bit uglier, however it's a lot more practical. You can now loop a finger in it without a single problem, whilst the old one had a smaller loop which made it a little bit harder to loop around. It also was a little less stretchy, whilst the new one is very much more stretchy, so therefore you can hang it up or have a little something that's a little thicker, for example your thumb or like a tree or something like that, whatever it might be, it'll be a little bit easier to loop around. Now the plus and minus buttons as well have slightly changed, they're slightly thicker than before. And then the design itself, the fabric mesh which goes all the way around it, is no longer a single tone fabric, it's now a two-tone fabric. It's something that actually they had included on the Boom 3. However, the Boom 3 actually looked like a really nice premium product, whilst the Wonderboom 2 now looks like someone's carpet in some respect. It's got these white little dots around it. I know you can get it in different colors, and let's say the grey model will be less obvious in this respect, but the red model that I have in front of me, which is kind of like the bright color that you got with the original Wonderboom, doesn't really look that attractive to me. So in terms of design wise, in my opinion, it's gone back, but the practicality of this new speaker has a little bit improved. Now underneath, you've still got a little latch over here, a little rubberized latch. Of course, you're going to need to put this in if you want the waterproofing, which I'll get into in just a bit, but it's still a micro USB port. Now in this day and age, a lot of manufacturers are using USB-C, so I would have expected Ultimate Ears to kind of use that same trend. However, that's not the case. It still uses a micro USB, and it's a little bit disappointing. You do get a flat cable micro USB cable in the box. Now underneath there is a difference. Now it's not massive at first, but then you realize, why is there a little tree icon underneath? If you press the little tree icon, it will kind of turn on, and you might be wondering, what on earth is it? Well, this is a thing that Ultimate Ears calls outdoor mode. Outdoor mode essentially drives the power from the two passive radiators that are housed inside to the two active drivers. So imagine they're normally 50-50% split. There's more power than 70% to 30% goes towards the active drivers in order to give it better mid to high frequencies. And you might be wondering, why on earth would you want that? Well, simply mid to high frequencies are a lot more sought after when you're in the outdoors, in an open space, and therefore you can hear the speaker from further afield. Now, it's a very small thing to do and a very easy thing to toggle on, yet the difference is remarkable. There's about a 20% volume difference in my opinion when I was testing it outdoors, and I could hear a difference. And I'll get into a sound demo after, and I'll show you guys, for you guys will be able to see yourselves. Now another thing that is new is the fact that this speaker can now be used in stereo mode. So the old speaker, when it's paired to another Wonderboom, so the original, imagine these were two original Wonderboom, they would work together, but just reproducing the same sort of mono sound. Whereas now, if you have another Wonderboom 2, you can have them running in stereo, so left and right channel. If you were to have an old Wonderboom like I have over here and you were to use that pairing function, you wouldn't benefit from that stereo functionality, but you can still use it to entertain yourselves with more speakers. So it's backwards compatible, and the fact that I have the stereo functionality is quite cool, because then you can have two speakers positioned left and right in front of you and using that stereo functionality. Then we move into waterproofing. Now the waterproofing has improved. It was IPX7 certified and was a floating speaker and the original Wonderboom. They've one-upped it with the Wonderboom 2. It's now a IP67 certified floating device. In other words, this has now dust protection, so therefore if you're in sandy beach or something, you're no longer going to be worried about the speaker no longer working. I never had it the case with the Wonderboom, because I really did put it through its paces, chucking in the pool and everything like that, but it's nice to see that it's actually officially IP67 certified. So now let's get into the sound quality, and just before I get into that, there is also the battery life indication. Now these are quoted battery lives by Ultimate Ears. The old one had 10 hours and the new one has 13 hours, so an extra 3 hours of playback time. In terms of weight, they're almost identical. The new one is 5 grams lighter, but it's about 3 millimeters or so taller. So very much same sort of form factor and very much still very portable to take around. It's a lightweight device, and you can carry it with your hand like this, like a baseball, almost like a big baseball. So now without further ado, let's go into a little sound demo. Now you'll have to excuse the music choice, it's just on YouTube in terms of copyright-free music. So without further ado, let's go into it, and this is without the outdoor mode enabled. I'm going to enable outdoor mode. So you can hear there's quite a substantial difference between outdoor mode and indoor mode, so to speak. Now I'm just putting on the older Wonderboom so you guys can hear this. What you'll notice in terms of differences is that it's a little bit meatier sounding. Let's see if the camera picks it up. So as you were able to hear, it is slightly meatier sounding, and in comparison to the Wonderboom 2, which kind of focuses more on the lower mid frequencies, and especially with the outdoor mode, kind of boosts that upper mid and high frequencies. It's very much tuned for more of an outdoor type of speaker. So in my honest opinion, well, would I buy the Wonderboom 2 in terms of sound quality goes? Well, it's a bit of a hard one because it's very good. I really much like it. But coming from the Wonderboom, the original Wonderboom, I really like the fact that it had like this kind of meaty sort of sound. It was a muddled type of bass and recessed lower mids. This sounds a little bit more refined, but a little bit less exciting in that respect. And given this is kind of like a fun portable speaker, that little meatier sound for me personally came out on top. And don't get me wrong, these are not audiophile grade speakers. They're pretty cheap Bluetooth speakers, and they've got loads of functionalities which are fantastic. So in terms of my opinion, I would personally prefer the original Wonderboom in terms of overall sound signature, but I appreciate what Ultimate Ears have done in terms of the sound signature of this. So now let's go into the conclusion. Would I buy the Wonderboom 2 over the original Wonderboom? Well, if they were both £89, I'd be like, absolutely, you get extra functionalities and a more refined sound signature. The problem is over here is that it now competes with the Boom 3, which sonically is far superior. And of course it's got a different form factor, but this looks a lot more elegant and has all the IP ratings that you also want. And then you compare it to the original Wonderboom and you realize this is almost half the price. The fact is you can buy 2 of these and basically be spending £5 more to get 2 speakers versus the only one that you get on the Wonderboom 2. So long story short, I would say that if you're looking for a Bluetooth speaker which is similar to the Wonderboom 2, get the original Wonderboom. It doesn't have the outdoor mode or all the other features that I mentioned, but would you really benefit from that? It's up to you to decide. Personally, I would recommend this, especially at its price. I think it's an absolute bargain. It's not to say the Wonderboom 2 is a bad product. Far from it. I think what Ultimate Ears have done, kind of coming from the original Wonderboom, not changing the design, keeping the same sort of sound signature and tweaking it a little bit here and there and adding some extra functionality is commendable. And the fact that it comes in at a under £100 price tag is again very alluring to a lot of people. But its biggest problem is its own company portfolio, is that it offers so many other good products that the other three products, the Blast, the Boom 3 and the original Wonderboom, are products I would all buy over the Wonderboom 2. So there we go guys, hopefully you enjoyed this review. Make sure you give it a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this, this product. And check in the description below for all the links. Take care guys, totally dubbed out. Bye bye.